This is Chris McDaniels. Like, subscribe to TW Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels, and follow me on all my social media accounts that will be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE NXT March 4th, 2025 reviews. Today we're discussing about tonight's episode of NXT. Now we kick off the show with the first match of the night. It was Sol Ruca and Zarya versus Piper Niven and the WWE Women's United States Champion Chelsea Green in a tag team match. In this match, it was a really damn good match. It was going back and forth and everything. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green almost picking up the win a couple of times. At one point, we actually see Zarya hit a spear onto Niven, and then she hits a spear on the Green as well. She pins her 1, 2. Chelsea puts her foot on the ropes, getting rope breaks, so the pin had to be broken up. And then somehow during this match, we actually see Chelsea Green's nose being busted open. So yeah, she was bleeding from the nose. Hopefully she don't got a broken nose, but she was bleeding from the nose and everything. And then there was a cool spot at one point where we see Zarya picking up Chelsea Green up on her shoulders for like the electric chair. And then we see Sol Ruca climbing up on the top turnbuckle, jumping off weighing moonsault at the same time, like a doomsday salt pretty much onto Chelsea Green. They pinned her, but then we see Piper Niven coming up with a big splash, so Sol Ruca moved out of the way. Niven hits a splash onto Chelsea Green by accident, and then that's when Zarya picks up Piper Niven, hitting the F5 onto Niven on top of Chelsea Green, and then Sol Ruca hits the Soul Snatcher onto Chelsea Green, pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Sol Ruca and Zarya defeated Piper Niven and Chelsea Green tonight in the tag team match. That's what happened there. Great opener for that match. I'll give it 3 stars. That's why I'll give it a great tag team match right there. But yeah, then after that, we see the NXT general manager Ava talking to Jordynne Grace backstage, but then they get interrupted by Cora Jade. Cora Jade comes up, wants to thank Ava for getting her match against Marsha. I'm trying to pronounce her name. Marsha Slavovich, I think that's how you say her name, for the TNA Knockouts Championship. So yeah, that's who Cora Jade will be facing at TNA and everything for the title. And she was talking about how she's going to make the title mean a lot more, be a lot more better and all that stuff. More better than what Jordynne Grace has done. And then Jordynne Grace was talking about Cora Jade's best friend, Roxanne Perez. And then Cora Jade was talking about how she's not best friends with Roxanne and all that. But she says that she's going to beat her best friend at TNA. So yeah, that's what she was talking about there. Both of them was arguing. And then Ava sets up a match between those two women tonight on NXT. So yeah, that's what's going on there. But up next, we're going to be seeing Jada Parker versus Kelani Jordan one-on-one up next on NXT. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing to happen on NXT, we get to the next match of the night. But before we talk about that match, we got to talk about a segment that happened backstage. So yeah, we see Trick Williams talking to the NXT general manager Ava backstage about Eddie Thorpe and everything. But then all of a sudden they get interrupted by Kel Dixon and Orga Connors. They come up trying to give Ava a gift basket pretty much, and Trick Williams was like, hey, come back later. And then they was like, well, we're just trying to give this to Ava. No, hey, come back later, I'm trying to talk to her. So yeah, they was starting to argue, and then, Trick was talking about, like, don't you need to go be around Andre Chase and all them? And then they was saying that, Trick was the reason why Chase U pretty much disbanded now. And then Trick Williams was like, well, how about we have a match then tonight, and talking to Kel Dixon and push him up against the wall and stuff. So yeah, that's what happened there. But then after that, we get to the next match of the night. It was Jada Parker versus Kelani Jordan one-on-one. This match, it was a really good match. Both of these women beating the hell out of each other. At one point, we actually see Kelani Jordan hit a Spanish fly onto Jada Parker off the top turnbuckle, but then Parker rolls out the ring, so Kelani Jordan couldn't go for the pin. Well, then Jordan goes out the ring, and then she gets knocked down by Jada Parker, and then we see Jada Parker hits Hypnotic onto Kelani Jordan, but then Jordan was over there by the steel steps, and then she's trying to hit Hypnotic again on Kelani Jordan at the steel steps, but Jordan moves out the way, so Jada Parker accidentally hits the steel steps to take herself out. Well, then Jordan throws her back into the ring. Kelani climbs up the top turnbuckle and jumps off with a 450 splash, but Parker moved out the way, and Kelani hits the mat on the way down, and then that's when Jada Parker hits Hypnotic onto Kelani, pinning her for the 3 count. So yeah, Jada Parker defeated Kelani Jordan tonight in a one-on-one match. That match was really good. I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it a great match between those 2 women. But then after that, we see the NXT North America champion, Tony D'Angelo. He was with Channing Stacks, Lorenzo, Luca Crucifino, and Adriana Rizzo, the D'Angelo family, backstage. And Tony D'Angelo was talking about how he don't got nice stuff to say about Izzy Dame, but, he ain't going to say nothing yet about her. And then he says that, Stacks is worried about his back, but he says that even though he's not 100%, he says that he still got to go deal with family business out there. So yeah, that's what Tony D'Angelo says, and now he's going to go out there and have a match later on tonight. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing happens on NXT. See you guys later. Till then. And I did forget to mention that Jada Parker did cut a little promo at the end of the match, by the way, looking into the camera, saying that she's going to be watching Julia and Stephanie Vacker's match very closely because, she's going to be next, going after those titles. So yeah, that's what Jada Parker said there. Forgot to mention that part. So, the next thing that happened on NXT. Now, before we talk about the next segment of the night, we gotta talk about a segment that happened earlier. So, yeah, we see the NXT champion, Obafemi. He was having a press conference, and he was talking about Moose and everything, about building up their match to Roadblock. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. Talking about the size differences and all that. And he says that Moose is want to go back to the NFL, and he should have stayed in the NFL. So, yeah, that's what Obafemi says about Moose. But then we get to the next segment of the night where we see the TNA World Tag Team Champions, Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys. They come out there and, yeah, they started talking about No Quarter Catch Crew, how it was great to be in WWE once again on NXT, facing No Quarter Catch Crew last week, and now how they're going to be defending their TNA World Tag Team Championships up against Fraxiom at Roadblock and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's what the Hardy Boys was talking about. But then they get interrupted by Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. So, yeah, they come out there and, yeah, they interrupt the Hardys. They was talking about Extreme and all that stuff. And, we're talking about what they were missing. And then the Hardys was talking about how you got to be extreme. And then they was talking about tables, ladders, and chairs. And it was like, no, you got to push yourself to the limit and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's what they was talking about there. But then they get interrupted by Josh Briggs and Yasuki Inamura. They come out there insulting Hank and Tank and all that stuff, and the Hardys. And then we see Hank and Tank talking about Extreme, and then they run a suicide dive onto Briggs and Inamura, and both teams starts brawling and stuff going backstage. And then we see the NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Fraser and Fraxiom, they get into the ring. They're right behind the Hardy Boys, staring them down, and then they was pretty much telling each other they're going to be seeing each other at Roadblock. So yeah, that's what happened there. It was a decent segment. It was alright. So yeah, up next it'll be Cora Jade versus Jordan Grace, one-on-one up next on NXT. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So, the next thing that happened on NXT, we get to the next match of the night. It was Jordan Grace versus Cora Jade one-on-one. This match, we was going through this match, and this match, it was pretty decent for the most part, but you could tell that it was starting to get a little bit more sloppier, pretty much where the match ended at. So, yeah, with Cora Jade. But, we see both of these women going at it, and it goes on picture-in-picture during commercial break, and they're still going at it. And then, like, in the picture-in-picture moment, we see Cora Jade try to hit the double-hooked arm DDT onto Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace just backed her into the corner, and then all of a sudden the referee threw up the X, signaling that Cora Jade could not continue. So she got injured, and she mouthed off to the ref, saying that her knee's fucked up. So, yeah. Jordan Grace defeated Cora Jade by ref stoppage. And, yeah, hopefully that Cora Jade is okay. She does get that match against, against Slamovich at Sacrifice. And, yeah, for the TNA Women's TNA Knockouts Championship. So, hopefully she's okay, but that's what happened there. She was able to walk out the ring, so maybe it's not that bad. But, hope for the best, obviously. But yeah, for that match, I'll give it 1 star. That's why I'll give that one. But then after that, we see Ethan Page and Javon Evans pretty much having a sit-down talk-to-talk, really. via satellite, and they was talking, and they was going back and forth and everything. Ethan Page explains why he attacked Javon. He says that he only advice from a 20-year-old kid and all that stuff coming out there, but then he says that when Javon mentioned his wife and his kid, that's when he snapped and he starts beating the hell out of Javon Evans. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there, and Javon was talking about how Ethan Page took away his smile and all that, and now they got a New York street fight match at Roadblock, and yeah, Javon Evans says that he's going to take away Ethan Page's smile. So yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, it'll be Trick Williams versus Kel Dixon 1-on-1 up next on NXT. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. The next thing that happened on NXT, we get to the next match of the night. It was Trick Williams versus Kel Dixon with Aura Connors at ringside. So yeah, we get to this match, and as soon as the bell rings, we see Trick hit the trick shot onto Kel, and then he gets on top of him, punching him upside the head multiple times, with the match ending. So Trick Williams defeated Kel Dixon by ref stoppage. So yeah, for that match, I'll give it a half of a star. That's what I'll give it. But then Trick grabs the mic after the match, and he starts calling out Eddie Thorpe. Well, Eddie Thorpe's theme song hits, but he don't come out through this entrance. He actually comes out, and he's standing on that platform. And Eddie Thorpe says that they got a match, and that in 2 weeks, there'll be an NXT Underground match. So yeah, and then Trick Williams says that he'll see his punk ass there in the Underground. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. But then after that, we see Roxanne Perez. Apparently, she attacked Jordynne Grace backstage, and she had a steel chair in her hands and all that stuff, and referees trying to pull her back. See, and that's what happened there. But yeah, crazy stuff going on in NXT, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing that happened on NXT. Now, before we talk about the main event, we gotta talk about a couple segments. So yeah, we see the TNA X Division Champion Moose having a press conference talking about his match against Obafemi at Roadblock, and he was talking about how he's going to take away that NXT Championship and have 2 titles. So yeah, that's what Moose was talking about there. But then all of a sudden, the NXT General Manager Ava comes up on the press conference announcing that Roxanne Perez will be taking on Jordynne Grace at Roadblock. Well, while she was announcing that, she gets interrupted by Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix. Fatal Influence. Fatal Influence interrupts her, and pretty much Fallon Henley wants a NXT Women's North American Championship match again, but Ava, says that they'll talk about it later, and she walks off. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then after that, we see Ricky Saints backstage, and he comes across Ridge Holland, introduces himself, and Ridge don't really care and all that, and talking about how Ricky Saints needs to stay away. So yeah, that's what we was talking about there. And then Ricky Saints runs into Shawn Spears, and Shawn Spears is talking about how tonight's main event will be televised. So yeah, that's what he tells Ricky Saints. And then we get to the main event. It was the NXT North American Champion Tony D'Angelo with Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Luca Crucifino, and Adrian Rizzo. The D'Angelo family versus Shawn Spears with Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Izzy Dame at ringside in a one-on-one match for the NXT North American Championship in the main event of tonight's episode of NXT. So yeah, we get to this match. In this match, it was a really good match. Both of these guys was beating the hell out of each other. We see Tony D'Angelo hit his finish move onto Shawn Spears when he got him with the spinning fisherman suplex type finisher move onto Shawn Spears. He pins him 1, 2. Spears barely kicked out at 2. We see Izzy Dame grabbing onto his feet, probably woke him up there. Well, then after that, we see Adriana Rizzo jumping onto Izzy Dame, brawling with her, and then we see the rest of the D'Angelo family going at it with Shawn Spears' family, and everybody was in the ring. Luca Crucifino clotheslines Nico Vance over the top of her, but they both go over. We see Stacks clotheslining Brooks Jensen over the top rope, taking him out, and then we see Tony D'Angelo on the ring apron. There was a steel chair on the floor outside the ring. D'Angelo's on the ring apron, and Shawn Spears pushes Stacks into Tony D'Angelo, knocking him off the ring apron, and D'Angelo lands onto the steel chair, hurting his back even more during this match. Stacks gets out of the ring, checking on D'Angelo, and then we see Shawn Spears pick up D'Angelo, throws him back into the ring. He picked him up on his shoulders, hitting the C4. He pins him 1, 2, Tony barely kicked out at 2. Tony was fighting back, and then he picks him up, trying to hit the spine buster onto him, but then his back gave out. He collapses with Shawn Spears falling on top of him, and Spears pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Shawn Spears defeated Tony D'Angelo tonight in a one-on-one match to become the new NXT North American Champion. That's what happened there. Great main event for that match. I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. Great main event. I'll say that was match of the night right there. But yeah, for tonight's NXT, I'll give it 8.5 stars. I'll give it 8 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good show for the most part, but that's what I'll give tonight's show. It was pretty decent, but it was alright. But yeah, that's been my WWE NXT March 4th, 2025 reviews. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels, and follow me on all my social media accounts. I'll be down there in the description box, and I'll see you guys later for tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite reviews. See you guys later. Till then.